My name is Kevin. We are Dirty 20 Gaming, and it is Sunday evening, so that means it is time for timely interventions. Our traveling detectives have gone back twice already to see what really happened in history, only to change it both times, but never mind. That's all right. It was kind of inevitable. Um, the game we're playing is called Timely Interventions. It is using my own game system called Balance that is designed to be ridiculously, stupidly simple. You'll see how easy that is to use as we go along. The imagery for the overlay, as well as some of the backgrounds that you can see, is from Pixabay. The high-def character art you can see for two of our players was made using Hero Forge, and the other two high-def art were created using People, who have provided the art for their characters. So thank you to all the people that provided stuff that made this as pretty as it is. Speaking of all the people, let's talk to our people. You have met most of them before, but I just wanted to give them all a chance to sort of get you pointed at their stuff. The short answer is what they're going to tell you, if you don't get it scratched down in time, can be found at our Discord channel, which is over in the chat, but hopefully maybe these guys have got some links to share with you as well. Let's just do it in order, starting playing Tholo for us tonight. Saber.
Hi everyone, I'm
artist
Saber.
Extraordinaire. What are you doing?
Yeah, I create artwork. It's something I do. You can find me at Saber_Sensei on Instagram. And please do come check us out in the Discord. I love to chat with you all. Happy to take messages and just answer questions. So yeah, hope to see you in the Discord.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Right next to you is one of the newer people that's joined our channel and bravely walked into this game sight unseen with almost no role-playing experience, never mind streaming experience, never mind playing with me, and has done a great job playing a bigger than life character. A person with a propensity for bardness. Tails.
This is all true.
Where can we find you when you're not here?
I mostly... Yeah, you can. I have a podcast called Tiny Fences. It's a podcast about Joss Whedon things. I started many years ago and is on a break, but there's hundreds of episodes in the backlog. And I'm a teacher, and I also did some art for my character, but the one you see on screen was actually Saber. I just wanted to give you kudos for that. Fixed it up and made it pretty, and I was like, oh my god, I could learn so much. So so I'm excited to play.
Well, that in a nutshell is how our community works, for anybody that doesn't know. Speaking to another relative newcomer to our community, but certainly not to me and certainly not to role-playing, Vils, welcome to the game. And where else can we find you? And this is where I get to have a drink of coffee, because this takes some time.
You can find me at twitch.tv/villavillas. You can also find me on Twitter at @thevillavillas. You can catch me playing numerous different video games. I'm generally voicing the dialogue in them in a bunch of funny voices. You can also catch me on the Discord. If you have any questions, whether it pertains to DMing advice or just wanting to chat, you can find me there.
Perfect. Yeah, and it's a great place to look, because if you just go to the Shameless Self-Promotion channel, all the links are in there, because everybody tells you what they were doing just recently. Or what they're about to do in most Twitch cases. So there's lots of warnings for the Twitch channel streams that are upcoming. Which finishes the top row and brings us down to the man with a propensity for picking difficult to pronounce character names. Playing Ben Schmidemeister for us again this evening. Go ahead and tell us what you're doing when you're not here.
Oh, well, when I'm not here, I'm doing the whole school thing, so I don't really have much time for all these streamings and other things that all of the people kind of around me do. But doesn't mean that I don't have at least, a night or two to try to fit something in.
Like running a game for a bunch of other new players? Stuff like that you so carefully tried to sidestep there?
I might have played, like, a session or two with, and if for some reason decided to take up the rest of the game.
Yes.
Things like that.
People in this, you guys are also freaking humble. I give you this opportunity to say, I'm amazing, and you go, I kind of do stuff.
I do things, but I'm a little busy with school right now.
A little
I think
busy
that
with
also
school.
speaks volumes to this type of community.
It really
don't
does.
think we're
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
we're all pretty humble folk.
Talk about them. Yeah, right before I go, oh, and now all about me. I'm here 4 nights a week, about to be 5. This is what I want to talk about. Tuesday of next week is a new show premiere. I said, anybody in this channel, anybody in this Discord that wants to run a game, let me know. And so far, 3 of the members of our Discord channel have gone, I would very bravely like to volunteer to run a game. So we have got the very first one of those coming up on Tuesday. This is a home-built system from the ground up. And it is not simple like the one we're using tonight. It is crafted. I have played a lot of systems over the years, and this system is very tightly woven. It makes sense. When you see these characters, they're going to make sense to you. So come in on Tuesday and see what we do for our very first episode of Behind the Screen. And then come back Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday and watch the rest of the foolishness. Speaking of the foolishness, let's get on to tonight. You guys in the last trip came back with varying gifts from King Midas and the rest of the family. As you came back again, I'm going to start with the 3 of you. Again, you had some downtime, sort of a couple weeks, 3 weeks between missions. This time you had enough money to buy, I'm just going to keep using the same analogies. The first time it was like a small car. The second time this is your 2-door sports coupe. I mean, we're not hypercar yet, but we are talking sort of high-end sports cars is what you got paid this time. So let's start with Ben, because I'm always interested to know what Ben is going to do with wadges of money.
Okay, so I mean, probably from last week, you might remember he actually declined Asher's offer to kind of go off into the city to get some, basically something to eat and kind of go back home for something. What he did is he went home and went to repair one of the older forges that might have, definitely was using some of the older techniques.
Yeah.
So, definitely bellows, that kind of thing. Bellows.
Yeah.
So he wanted to get one of those back together because as much as, with listening to the Queen kind of talk about her techniques and kind of saying, okay, this is what we would do today, kind of more modern techniques tend to shortcut what might be necessary, like, slowly cooling electrum over time, that kind of thing. Right. So he's going to kind of repair one of the, older forges, that whole deal.
Yeah.
And definitely spend some money trying to get materials such as, gold and silver to kind of see what different blends of electrum can do on different materials. Whether or not it does anything, at the very least, it kind of helps him kind of focus and kind of, hone his grace, if you may.
Absolutely. And as a reminder for anybody that wasn't here last week, you had Demodis, the wife of King Midas and daughter of Agamemnon, both things historically accurate, by the way, teach you how to essentially take electrum, which is a blend of gold and silver, and make it into the equivalent of fur for a stuffed animal. Everything except that last bit is actually possible. So you spend these couple of weeks. At the start of it, you're making wire. Right. I mean, you can tell it's not small enough. It's not well, you know what you need to do, and you just keep at it and at it and at it. And every day it just gets better and better. And the day that your email goes off on your phone and says, we'd like you to come in for another mission, you reach down, the camera goes up behind and over your shoulder and looks down onto your workbench. And you reach down with one hand and pet this little piece about 10 centimeters square. It's covered in electrum fur.
Way to go,
So-
Ben.
That's how much you got done in 3 weeks. So, yes. And thank you very much to the Raiders. Stick around. We're just getting started. They're just telling us what they did between the last adventure and today. And then we will drop them in and we're going to go find out what the hell happened with this Shakespeare dude. So, stick around. But first, Edward, I also want to hear what you do with Wadges of Money because you come from Wadges of Money. So, somebody's like handed you slightly more pocket change than they handed you a month ago. What do you do with it over 3 years?
It honestly just goes into the bank account. He's not in it for
Okay.
the money, so he's just in it for the adventure. During his time in between, though, he did hit up Asher's invitation to go and kind of find out a little bit more about his fellow adventurers. So we're gonna have to see how that went out.
Yeah, we
right.
went for cheeseburgers. Yeah, that's
So
right.
that was good.
time.
This ties in beautifully. Let's go to Asher next. You got somebody said yes. I get the feeling people say yes to Asher a lot. So
That's very true.
So you started with burgers. Then you've
Start
got
with burgers.
Yeah.
And
And
when
then
asked,
Edward at
asked
some
all the
point, at any point,
questions.
just interrupt and say that's when I leave. But yes, Asher, go.
Yeah, I started by I was like, Edward, I want to know you. Why are you coming on these missions? And he just you told me what'd you tell me?
Yeah, that's fair.
You know, kind of sitting down, get a McDoubley's burger or something.
Good choice.
Kind of looking over, you know, the
Call
the
back
bench
only
from
I
you.
get. Sorry.
And
Sounds tasty. Yeah.
well, you know, I kind of work in the hospital setting, a bit higher up in the management, and everything just kind of. It's. I know how my day is gonna go from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep. It's all regimented. It's all so predictable, and you know, as a kid, I grew up and I loved reading the stories. All these adventures, whether they're fictional or not. And I really wanted that in my life. And this seemed like an outlandish opportunity to try and do that. And I have to admit, I'm really excited with the way it's going. It's been beyond my wildest imagination.
Edward,
about you?
you make me feel so calm, like I'm just drinking chamomile tea with your lovely voice, and I'm just so excited to be on these adventures with you. And those are such a cool idea. Reasons to be on an adventure. I'm on adventure because that's what I do. I don't like sitting still, and I don't like thinking too long. And the more I say yes to the world, the less I have to be in my own head.
He's on
And
his
I'm
fourth
looking-
cappuccino.
Yeah, yeah. I just don't like to be in my head. And to be honest, I really want that trip in the time machine, and the fact that I can now save up those credits. That's my reason now.
That is right. That is the deal for
Yeah.
you. You have a ridiculous number has been proposed, and
Yep.
if you can earn that much, you get a round trip ticket in this time machine.
And you know,
So
Edward,
kind of
I have more money than that, but I have a feeling that it needs to be earned through these adventures. I don't think it's just about the money for our employer. So
As I kind of go and listen to him and scrunch up my double McDoubley, wrapper. So where did you want to go? I mean, that was a bit of a surprise last time.
well, my parents were murdered, and I don't know why, and I don't know if there'd be a way to fix it or change it, or just I want to go back and find out how and where and when, and if I could change history and make it so that it never happened. They were great inventors. They invented these glasses I'm wearing, and it's part of the reason I don't like to stay in my head. I don't like to think. I like to just stay busy and not think of it.
I see that. That makes sense why you wouldn't go to the past like that.
Sorry to bring down the mood. Let's have more cappuccinos. You need another burger?
Now, Tholo, yeah, and I mean, you look over and like, you realize now you're sitting. You don't know what his actual title is, but like you're sitting across the table from sort of the head of surgery at some major hospital, and he's just got burger grease dripping down his chin. He's looking for a napkin. You know, you were just in King Midas's living room with him 4 hours ago. Yeah, so I would suggest that you be you know a lot about each other, so a lot more than you did an hour ago. Solo, you were busy. In fact, the last time these guys went on a run, so you have had 6 weeks and enough money to buy a small car. What were you doing?
Well, I entered into the space with a very different demeanor than the last time you saw me. I have my hair more over one side of my face than before, and I look a bit agitated. I don't approach anyone at first, and I just kind of stay back and wait for someone to come to me.
All right. So you guys all respond to the email that says "Come back. Time for another mission." You arrive again at this outrageous building and wind your way up the elevators and into this weirdly plain office with the chairs, but they're the nice chairs now, the ones that you brought. Speaking of which, the other plastic chairs have disappeared, and so has most of the packaging in the corner. And instead of the black cube on the floor, there's now just a sort of a glowing golden ribbon that's sort of in a square on the floor. And as the last of you walks in, that ribbon sort of pulses and the cube appears above it, and then the head of the narrator rises up out of the cube as usual.
Oh, that's new.
And at least it's better than the warehouse we started in.
We've
Cleaned it on up a
upgraded.
bit.
Yes, yeah, you guys are. I realized I sped through that part. Yes, there's a new address given, and it is like, oh no, this is no, never mind. I got two games confused. There's a new address given, and you guys are sent to this building that is. It's in downtown. What do we call it? Seattle, Coover. No, it's in Vancouver. We're in Vancouver. This is a huge building that sticks up. It's been grown by a nanoparticle process, so it's very organic and it's very. It's all trusses and large panes of transparent material. The whole thing moves in the wind. You can feel it as you ride up the elevator. So the elevator kind of goes like this on the way up. You get to the rooms, and again, so yes, your chairs are there. I'll just retcon all of this. Your chairs are there, as well as this golden ribbon on the floor, and the cube comes up out of that, and then the head comes up out of the cube. We've upgraded.
That elevator ride was scary.
Yes, and you realize that even here you can feel the building moving, but the room that you're in, it's bigger than the elevator, so it doesn't feel quite so obvious. There's quite a storm going on outside.
It's good to see you, Tholo.
Thanks. It's good to be back.
Are we all prepared to go back to Shakespearean times?
Yeah, I even brushed my hair and I pulled out, got a Shakespeare shirt and brought this little pocketbook that says dictionary according to Shakespeare. Ready to go.
We can put that in your glasses if you prefer. It would be rather anachronistic to have something with his name on it.
Sounds good. That makes sense.
And you can feel
What's
the little
up?
vibration that means download incoming.
Well, he looks
So,
up
yes.
anachronistic.
and yes, you get that information
Asher,
now in your glass.
May I see that book though before we go?
For sure. Here you go, buddy.
I take a moment to flip through it, and I'm trying to remember as much as I can, and I pass it back to him.
Okay. Any questions before you go?
Do you know what what he might be working on when we arrive, or don't know exactly when?
We will be sending you, the only time that was available is near the end of his career, actually, about 1611. He's written almost everything by then.
And if you don't mind a follow-up, how long does he survive after we get there?
We're not quite sure. That's part of the reason why we're sending you to this point in time. We want to see. He just sort of fades away. If you've ever looked at the documentation, it's always birth and death both have the circa mark by them. It's one of the reasons we're sending you back. Our employer wants to know what was really going on.
Good questions, Ben.
Good to know.
Last time for Midas, we didn't have any money with us. This time we'll be having some monetary.
Yes, and weapons as well. Appropriate to the time, of course. Rapiers, daggers, main gauche.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
There is another change. The changing rooms are now here. There's no need to walk in the public hallways. And the door just sort of in the wall of this very bland office.
All right, time to change. Good thing I
guys
brought my
head
own
in?
shirt. Let's go.
So you blow into this room. Asher's like, I got this covered, and you hit the room and you look around, and because there are mannequins, one of each of your sizes standing. Actually, pardon me. Let's make it 3 of each of your sizes, with sort of plain, slightly fancy, and uber fancy versions of the same outfit on each one. They all involve ruffs, puffy shoulders, big puffy sleeves, tight cuffs, tights, and cod pieces,
God.
and curly-toed boots.
Oh, it's so fun. Edward, I want to see you in these.
Also,
Edward walks in,
there is
just
a
kinda-
table of belts and whatnot with daggers, rapiers, small odd little weapons like main gauche and things like that.
Edward kind of walks in the dressing room, and you just hear, "God damn it, not tights again."
That's be fun.
Felt
The shoulders
deeply
probably
in the
look really
soul
funny.
of every person over the age of 30. Oh, damn it, not tights again.
Worn those before?
Edward, they accentuate all your good parts.
Yeah, until you're 30, and then they accentuate all the parts that used to be good.
Oh dear.
Anyway, you struggle and stride into the said gear. I'm going to ask, understated, stated, or overstated? Let's go that way. That's the easy way. Edward.
Edward, he's gonna go with stated.
Okay, so just sort of, you're going to fit in the typical sort of dark colors and black with the ruff being white and yeah, absolutely. Codpiece matches the tights so as not to draw attention. Ben.
He's gonna go with the plainer of the 3. So
Okay.
I guess
Understated,
if that is
yeah.
understated.
Yeah, blacks and
He's
grays. Yeah, little thinner ruff.
The idea, well, what he's going to do as far as equipment is concerned is he's going to look at the rapier. So kind of quality wise, what would he see?
There's a couple on the table. They are all, you notice a couple things. Actually, give me, is it reason or is it intuition, would you say? How are you looking at these things?
I mean,
These
he's looking at it in kind of rely on his instincts to kind of do more things. He doesn't do so much reasoning.
Yeah, so you kind of you do all the things that blacksmiths do. Absolutely. Give me an intuition.
Against
I mean, this is simple. I'm going to say 3. I mean, I should hardly make you roll this. I just want to see how much you learn. Okay, you only succeeded once, but it was a 6. You learn a couple of things. These are excellent quality weapons. They're also not historically accurate. They're historical. They're really from then. The harness and stuff isn't, but the weapons themselves are actually from Shakespearean times. And as such, they're in incredible nick. They're just in perfect shape.
His plan is to take his hammer, leave the rapier, but take a dagger. So
Absolutely.
kind of remove the rapier sheath.
Yeah, the dagger makes sense with that understated look. You know, you're not trying to draw attention. You're not trying to start fights. Weaponry for the others? Or actually, we still got two to ask what they're wearing. But yeah, Edward, any weaponry?
Edward will go and take a rapier and a dagger.
Yep, typically, yeah, both hips. That makes perfect sense too with that sort of middle of the road, just stated uniform. Tholo. This is interesting. The other two I have predicted correctly. I bet I get this one wrong. Which one of the three does Tholo pick?
Well, first I want to know if I can see what their choices are. Or is everyone in their own cubicle?
Oh, no, this is one big room. Yeah.
So I'm analyzing of the choices, and I approach the fanciest one first, and I spend probably an irrational amount of time, so I'm probably the last actually to get dressed, analyzing every bit about this outfit and feeling fabrics and etc., and do it to all three. And I choose the understated as well.
Okay. And for weaponry?
Also a dagger and a rapier. Actually, I try, totally unsuccessfully, to fit the rapier in my katana sheath.
Yes, it starts to bend. Yeah, you get the impression it's a bad idea. Yeah, it's all top heavy anyway because of the big basket hilt. Yeah, it's not going to work. But it does have. So you have to take. Are you going to leave your katana here then?
Yes, I'll leave everything here. And as I'm getting dressed, perhaps someone who's looking in my direction might notice my hair flips off to the side a bit, and I've got a nice shiner on my eye.
Oh dear. So two understated and a stated, and a GM who was temporarily out of focus. Asher, we saved you for last because there's I have to ask because I have to be fair and ask everybody. But tell us, let's make this extra fun. You tell me, what colors is this ensemble?
Like blue, royal blue with gold trim. Like I, of course, going for the overstated.
You realize that is a literal claim to royalty.
Oh yeah, I'm going royal.
Okay,
why not?
absolutely.
Why not?
Yep. With your glasses on.
I would also look around strategically and be like, okay, no one else is going for this strategy, and I could do what I want to do.
So it's all
for weaponry. Asher really doesn't like weapons. I don't really like weapons, so I look at them and think maybe just in case, are they expecting danger? And I decide to take the dagger. Figure it's the smallest, and I don't even know how to hold it. I'm just like, what do I do with this thing?
Yeah, I mean, a royal probably wouldn't at this. But this wasn't a time where royals rode off to war. They sent other people to do that because they might get hurt.
Than anything else.
Yeah, I mean, there is a real big basket-hilted rapier there that, you would, if owned by a real royal, would never have been drawn, but it's been in the family 20 generations. Right? It's probably rusted shut inside their but either way, I like the idea of just having the dagger.
You know what? Then my glasses tell me that, or Ben tells me that, and I decide to go with the...
I wouldn't mention it.
Wouldn't tell me that?
Your glasses,
My glasses tell me that, and I go with the rapier that's never been drawn.
Okay, so you are just like bright blue and gold brocade everywhere, and the big straps and the epaulettes and this ridiculously gaudy rapier. These glasses, I keep mentioning them, and because you picked gaudy and you didn't tell me, you only gave me one color, so here we go. The tights are black. The codpiece is metallic blue.
Yes, it is. I definitely do a little bit of like a gyrating. Go, hey, fellow, look at my codpiece.
I can't help but look a little.
For duels of questioned honor, yes. Yes.
Hey, the blue almost
it-
matches your eye, Tholo. And I'm definitely
Well-
going to ask you about that shiner, but they almost match.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry to embarrass you there. Didn't mean to.
No, well, ask the question. I can't guarantee I'll answer it.
What happened?
I got into a fight.
With who? And why?
With people that I'm trying to stay away from, and I don't know you well enough to answer the second one.
That's fair. Well, I'll tell you, a good way to get away is by going back in time, isn't it?
Yes,
And his
that's why
codpiece
I'm
clanks
here.
against his codpiece clanks against your rapier as he turns away.
Yeah, yes. Yes, it does.
It's extremely uncomfortable.
I promise I won't make that joke more than 3 or 4 times tonight. More than I already have.
We're expecting it now.
Yes. With that, a new door opens again. Now, this door, weirdly enough, in this high-tech, beautiful office, is exactly that same shitty, really thin wood door that was at the warehouse. And that same sort of crappy frame that you can tell they had to shim all the way around to hold it in place before they put up the crappy drywall. It's that door, but it's in this perfect nano-grown wall. Who opens
Hey,
the door?
Ben. Hey, Ben, why do you think it's the same door? You're the blacksmith. That's why I'm asking you. But they got this beautiful building and the same door. Any ideas?
You're muted.
You know that's a carpenter, right?
Well, but you're the closest to what we got here. I'm a nobody adventurer. We got like a ninja running on the run and a doctor. Blacksmith beats all that for carpenter.
I resent that. I'm a samurai, not a ninja. There's a difference.
Oh yes,
All right,
there
I'll
is.
ask you about it
Ooh,
sometime.
yeah, that's rude. That was. Call somebody a ninja. Sheesh.
Indeed.
No class at all.
All right.
Calls the tries to get the blacksmith to look at a door as a card for a card. Oh,
Those glasses have taught him nothing.
Definitely not that.
But they've got 85 gigs of porn in them. There was hardly room to put the information about Shakespeare.
oh, dude.
Let's be honest, that's what the internet's for.
Yes.
They even made a song about it.
Yeah, they did. Mhm. All right, then I'll open the door and avoid this awkward conversation. I started. I
You
opened the door.
as usual, you start an awkward conversation, go, this is an awkward conversation, and walk away.
Mhm.
I spent most of my 20s doing that. But you walk away and pull open the door, and in front of you is exactly the little room that was the time traveling room in the warehouse.
I would
Same
definitely open the door
crappy
and
walls, the same cheesy chairs, and you did not use specific. Oh, no, you specifically did not bring the chairs down here. You brought them back up last time, so it's back to lawn chairs in here now. But you guys
would
know
definitely
there's 0 time spent.
open
All
the
you have to
door.
do is yeah.
And say something ridiculous like, "Where art thou, oh Shakespeare?" And then realize halfway through we're in
It's
the
a
same
little
room.
tiny empty room
It's
with
a
the
little
door at the
tiny
other
empty
end.
room.
Yeah.
And be like, Edward, look at this. What is this? Not talking to Ben or Tholo, so.
Sure. I mean, it seems odd that they went through all the effort of moving us to a new place if we're just gonna end up in the first place.
Agree.
Well,
You also
Asher
realize
is-
that the other door, the door that you're supposed to go to through, is now technically 100 plus floors off the ground.
While Asher is kind of distracted talking to the others, I wanted to check something.
Yep. What would you like to check?
So knocking on the wall that the door is in on the like room side before you kind of walk through.
Yep.
I'm thinking, how thick does that sound versus how thick does it feel if you were to put your hands on both sides of the door?
Oh, I like that. I don't need a roll for that. That is such good thinking that I'm going to give you the information. You look, and first of all, even though this is not your material of choice, you can tell this is nano built. You have to know what that is, right? I mean, it's the world you're competing in. This has been recently rebuilt by nano, so this door has just been put in here recently, and your intuition or whatever it was is correct. This door, this wall, this is nano built. It should be, maybe a couple centimeters thick. That's the whole point of using this carbon construction, is it can be incredibly strong. But it's actually, half a meter is what it feels like. As you're checking that, you also feel there are two very distinct temperatures. The one in the big building that you're in is perfect room temperature. The one in the small room is cooler, and there's a bit of a breeze. And when you tip your head in that room and sniff, you can smell the ocean.
Interesting.
Hey friends, do you think they moved the second room? Maybe we're compromised? Is there a way? Do you think the person we're working for might be, I don't know, getting chased down or something? Like, I don't know. Feels to me it was a bit weird. We were sent to a new location, went into the time machine, came outside. We're in the same room that we were in the first place, but it smells funny.
It smells like it did the first time you were there because the warehouse was down by the ocean. This office building isn't, so it shouldn't smell like this. But as soon as like I said, you can feel a draft in there. For all the world, it feels like that bit is still in that warehouse somehow. Like it's in that space, and this building is connected to it. And then the other door at the other end goes into wherever it goes. When you guys go wherever you go.
I look toward Asher and I'm like, that's a good idea. We'll hold on to that one because we don't know exactly how our influence is, kind of affecting things and what it actually means for this guy. But let's be honest here. We're getting sent to the past. Just moving from location to location, that seems kind of simple compared to that, right?
I think, if you don't mind me interrupting, I think if we talk about this where we know we aren't possibly being listened to, maybe a smarter idea.
That is smart. Ben Schmeidermeister. So what are you saying, Ben? Are you saying we should get going?
I mean, logically,
fact.
we are wearing clothing that could potentially be bugged. So
You're still in a room that is officially part of the building of the person who has hired you, who has infinitely rich patrons. So, yeah, it's a very fair point. You are almost certainly being listened to.
I have a feeling we're going to be
you guys would have
listened to no
figured
matter
out
where
from
we
the
go.
well, except for one thing. You guys do know from the previous two adventures that you've been on, whatever the narrator is and whoever the narrator's boss is cannot see you or what you do when you're in the past. They always ask for a report when you get back. So, the chat is assuming that the door is locked. But you guys actually know better. This is just the door you opened to go into the past on the other end of this room.
Granted, we haven't tried to open it while the other door was still opened.
That is true.
But I don't
experiment
see
you have not
trying
tried.
that just now.
Are you going to try that?
I mean, I don't think we've closed the door yet, and I think people are still kind of waiting in the chairs, aren't they?
Yep, exactly. The first door you guys went through is still open because I assume you're still doing the measurement thing.
Yeah.
The rest of you have filed into the smaller room, have you, or no?
yes.
I'd say yeah.
Okay, so you guys are all in the smaller room, just waiting for Ben to finish looking at the door.
Yeah. So I guess I'll kind of finish up and make my way in and kind of close it.
Okay, so you close that
If nobody
first door.
stops me.
Over to the second door. Yeah.
I knew, Ben, you were the one to ask about that door. Because you're the only one to look at it.
Didn't look at the door, looked at the wall.
All right, fair. I like you.
I like Ben. There's just no filter. Here's what I think. Blurt.
he doesn't necessarily have respect for Asher. I'll be honest there.
No,
It's
fair
all
enough.
right, Ben.
Somebody who beats metal into submission for a living is going to have different standards than somebody who parties for for what passes for a living. That's what I love about this group. But you go over, and who is going to open the other door?
Edward will.
Or is anybody? We're just going to spend the whole night in
All
here. I brought a bottle. Let's party.
I follow
dressed like
Edward
Shakespeare.
with one hand on a dagger, just in case.
Yep.
Edward,
You
I'll go
open-
to the door and I'll kind of turn the handle and look back to the others. You all ready for this?
Da, 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 da. Yeah, let's do it.
You open the door this much, and you can. It's just a cacophony of noises. Metal clang, 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 clang of horse hooves with horseshoes clattering on cobblestone streets, the horses themselves neighing and whinnying, people screaming and yelling, sirens and horns going off, whistles blowing steam into the air. There is a fog, a smog, a mist that starts to creep into this room that you can see the particulate matter and you can see the coal dust. You can watch it blow in onto the floor of this room. The clanging, clanging, clanging. Ben, you know this sound. This is metal on metal, but it's cold metal on cold metal. This is big machinery operating.
I thought we were supposed to go in the past. This is just Bourbon Street during Mardi Gras.
I know that place well, Edward. That's where we should go for our next burger. Maybe some gumbo instead, eh? What is this weird smog, though? Let's go check.
You open
what's
the door
going
a
on
little
here?
bit more and start to look around. And you're in an alleyway, and you're about 3 or 4 meters from the actual street front itself. So you can see out into the road, and it's just cart after cart after cart, horse-drawn carts going both directions, hackneys and cabs and everything going in all directions around here. That's where a lot of the noise is coming from. The smoke, you kind of have to peek your head out and look up. This city is full of chimneys. Just one end to the other, and they're all just belching black smoke. The glasses tell you that it's coal being burned to keep the city warm, and coal oil being burned in the lanterns to keep it lit. And coal makes dust.
Oh, our lung cancer rates just went up.
So what are the kind of what are the buildings made of?
These this area here is the bottom sort of 4 to 5 feet is natural rock walls. Like it's natural rocks, by what I mean, slightly shaped to fit together, lots of mortar, and then above that is all thick timber and plank construction. Most of them are 2 stories tall. Most of them have an overstep, where the top floor is actually slightly larger than the bottom.
Yeah.
As Bird will kind of go and step out of the door and step into this town, I'll kind of take a moment, look down, and purposely take a step to the left to watch out for the shit on the floor, on the ground.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, it is everywhere. Yeah, there's people running around scooping it up and putting it in carts and taking it away. That was an actual business. So yeah, it is, but it is a filthy, nasty mess. Those of you that know your history from this area, it's not quite right. There's a little bit too much mechanization. There's a little technology's not quite right for this time. This soot storm shouldn't be here for about another 150 years.
Friends, from what I'm scanning in my glasses, this does not feel right. We shouldn't have this much coal and that sound of machinery. There's something kind of off. Either we're not in the right time, or maybe we changed time with the last time that we went to Midas. I don't know. Like there's something not quite right.
Well,
Now, Ben, I said big machinery. There is a distinct thing I want to point out. There's no motor sounds. There's no motors here. So there's big banging like hammers, but it would be it would be water wheel driven or animal driven.
Okay.
Is what you're hearing. So yeah, there's no steam engines. We're not 19th century level of tech. But we are about 100 years past where we should be.
Should we walk around? What are you feeling?
Step out into the hallway and close the door, and it disappears behind you.
I'm gonna turn to Tholo and ask if they have any ideas how to mark the door in the alley. Because I know we were using stones before, but that doesn't seem to be as available.
Just as Edward takes a step away from the fecal matter,
Yeah.
I'm following to protect and step right in it. As the question is asked, I look down, shudder, and say, I suppose we could mark with this,
Oh.
and then proceed to draw some kind of line with my foot
In the poo. Absolutely.
in the poo.
Absolutely. Edward, I'm going to give this one to you. As you sort of look around, drawing what you can from the background, you see on the wall there's a small sign that someone has just painted on the wall, and it says Whitechapel Lane.
You all see that?
I know I'm messing with time here too, but never mind.
Yeah, what's it mean?
I don't know. I wasn't really that big on learning William Shakespeare stuff in school.
Do you want me to do a little scan? No, it's just
Sure, go ahead.
There's
what
something.
are you looking at? Yeah, what are you looking at
Whitechapel
then?
Lane.
Whitechapel Lane.
Yeah.
Beep, 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 beep. Jack the Ripper
Oh.
operates about almost 300 years from now. Will operate in this immediate area. This is right after the fire of Great Fire of London.
So this is where Jack the Ripper used to do his haunting and killing and all that fun stuff.
That's a name I know.
Yeah, me too. I kind of want to leave Whitechapel Lane.
Excuse
It will
me.
make it
but
easier to find your door. So
I don't know very much of any of this. Could you tell me what's the deal here?
Edward, you want to take it?
I mean, I don't know the specifics about it, but so Jack the Ripper was known for a series of murders, and I don't think they ever really caught the guy. At least they're not specific on who, if it was one person or multiple people. I know they targeted generally prostitutes, but that's about what I know, and that's just surface knowledge. I don't even know if that's right.
And like I said, that's
is this
300 years
person
from where you guys are now. That's like way in the
within
future from where you guys are.
the time period we're supposed to be in? Was my question.
No, not even close.
No, but
Jack
everything
the Ripper
feels
has
kind of
not
off
happened
here.
in this world. It is a little bit off. Not that much.
Everything's
Off.
a little bit
Technology's off by about 100 years. And this is just called Whitechapel Lane. It just hasn't become infamous yet. Right? I don't want to red herring you guys down here. This was just kind of a little joke. So you guys could remember where you parked the time machine.
Let's just hope that our employer doesn't get any interest in Jack anytime soon.
Yes.
Yeah, agreed. While you can't hear us, is there anything you wanted to say about our employer? That's all I wanted to say. Was that it was a bit weird that we went from one spot back to the other spot. I don't really have any theories, but now that he can't hear us, did anyone want to say more now that we're not heard?
I mean, I think you all also figured pretty quickly that that door definitely moves in space.
Yeah, because you
Not
came
just
out at
time.
ground level.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is not a direct one-to-one connection. You guys kind of got a hint from that last time too, because Edward went back and opened the door and it just opened up into nothing. So
Oh yeah.
you know it's not that simple, right? It's not as simple as it's a direct door to the past.
Alrighty, where to?
Hints like breadcrumbs. So, the glasses beep
Ooh.
and tell you that probably the best place to look for him would be the Globe Theater.
You know,
Theater he made famous.
let's go see if we can find the globe. Everybody up for that? Go for a little walk and see if we can find it.
The Globe?
The Globe Theater. That's where, Shakespeare, most of his plays were done, and I think he lived in an apartment nearby there too. Actually, these glasses, I should have a map of the area. Let me just.
You do, yes.
All right, let's go. Let's just this way.
It takes you a
Let's
while to
go.
find it because you've never used the practical parts of these glasses before. And it takes.
You're telling me that we've marked 3 doors and you have a map.
Yep. I have a map of this area. I mean, like, we didn't have a map of like Midas's hometown.
That is fair. At that time, there
Yeah.
wouldn't have been a map, but this one there is. So yes.
Or Sherwood Forest. So
Yeah.
I looked
know,
down
Ben.
at my foot covered in feces and
Yes.
glared at Asher.
I didn't have a map of where the feces went. Let's go.
Start zooming in. No, there's no feces. It doesn't auto update. It doesn't auto live
The map
update.
just has all of where the ploops are. Just like breadcrumbs.
Yes.
That'd be awesome.
Oh,
Maybe I
look
can
at,
get it
um,
updated when I'm
don't feed
back.
bread to horses. It's not good. Okay, so it's only a couple of blocks away, which makes sense. He dropped you nice and close to the Globe. As you step out into the street, it is mayhem. There are people shoulder to shoulder, bumping into each other, swearing at each other, yelling, just angry. They're city people. They're just raging, angry city people bouncing off of each other, coughing and hacking in this soot-filled world. You, as modern people, know exactly what this is. This is overwork and overstressed and no relaxation, and it's just too much, and they're shattering. That's the world that you're like. They don't care. They are just running into you if you don't get out of the way. You start to struggle your way through the crowd. You figure out if you kind of blade your body and use your shoulder, you can get through. At
They said
one
that going
point,
through a river last week wasn't going to help.
yeah. Ash, who's leading? Who's going first?
I think I'm
Like
leading.
Asher's is
Yeah.
It usually is, yeah. So
Yeah.
you are smashing forward with all your bold and finery on, and this guy coming the other way just slams into you, and looks up and says, "Piss off!" and goes to shove you with his hand.
You piss off. You're in my way. And I walk out of his way and go, there you go, fine lady.
Can I see if I can, as that is happening,
Yeah.
intersect? As he's going
Absolutely,
to push, I
Yeah.
push back and push him out of the way.
And just rotate him? Absolutely. Give me would that be grace or strength? You tell me.
That would be
It's
great.
kind of grace, yeah. It's kind of more of a judo move, using their mass against them and their movement against them. Absolutely. Give me that.
Target? Or is this
He's
an
not.
attack?
He's not expecting you. Yeah, give me an attack. Although I'm actually going to make it easier than the 6 because he's not expecting it.
Oh.
A 5 is exactly easier than a 6, which is exactly what I was going to do. So yeah, he goes to push Asher. Asher just does that thing where you just go, nope. Like, he's been in bars before. He's insulted people before. He knows how to avoid that first shot. This is nope. And the push goes here, and you just grab the wrist with 2 fingers and a thumb and just do that. And he's already going in that direction, and he just and smashes headlong into 2 big burly guys that drop their little keg that they're carrying. The keg hits the ground. You smell bad beer as the keg breaks, and you realize you have moments before a war is about to break out on this street. What do
Asher
you do?
grabs Solo's hands and says, we're running, and starts running with Solo.
Ben
Already
and
running.
Edward, yeah.
Seeing them take off, Edward will go, yep, it's time to go. And I will use the fellow on the ground as a plank not to step in the beer.
Yeah, down him and off the back. Absolutely. Ben, what are you doing?
Oh, there was like on one side of the road on kind of like the street that it kind of dropped.
Yep.
I'm going to kind of start by kind of cutting to the other side of the street and then trying to kind of keep my way forward.
Absolutely. So you guys keep moving towards the globe, but you get out of here. Yeah, by the time you've gone 10 steps, mayhem has ensued. Imagine a bar fight that is now a half a block long and growing. Beer was spilt in the streets of London. This is not ending well. This is going to start a major, major street fight. There's now windows being, that's probably no windows. There's windows being ripped out and bars being stolen their beer from. There is a riot going on behind you as you start to make your way forward.
I turn to Edward and go, well, now it's like Louisiana during Mardi Gras or New Orleans during Mardi Gras. It's both smells of beer and there's a brawl and feces.
Yeah, your glasses pop up in front of you. The beer at this point in time averaged 13% alcohol by volume.
Well,
compared
we
to
could get
5
drink off
modern
that
beers.
stuff.
So yeah,
I
and
mean,
that's
better than
also
Robin Hood's.
accurate, 12 to 13%. So yeah, they're just swilling. They don't drink water. You can't drink the water to make you sick in London this time. So you guys burst around the corner and you see in front of you there's a big double door and a bunch of people hanging around outside. They seem to be throwing small rocks at each other, like pebbles at each other, and they're laughing and trying to catch them, and they're slapping them down, and a couple of them have got little bruises where they've been hit. They're clearly waiting for the doors to open, and they're keeping themselves amused. Above the doors, just painted on the wall, is just a circle, and in it a rough outline of what's probably the British Isles. But it's all at it. Like Ireland and Scotland are really, really small, probably not by accident. And the British part is really large, and Wales just kind of gets ignored altogether. It's just it's not on the map. And around it says the globe, but it's Gloob. So technically it says the globe.
Solo, thanks for that back there. I really appreciate it.
Oh yeah, just an instinct.
Makes me wonder even more how you got that shiner. That was quick thinking there. Thank you.
Of course.
You can just hear the riot a couple blocks away.
I have my hand on my heart as we're getting closer and closer to the door.
Yep.
My body language reads like nostalgic.
Yeah.
What's going on, friend?
I don't know. I feel like I need to be here right now. And I put my hand on the door and I just push it open.
It's whether it's timing or not, you hear from the other side the bolt just as you push, and the door is open, and you're the first one to step in. You sort of stumble in. It's almost like it's almost like a callback to what just happened. This time it's you that's off balance, and you kind of stumble into the dark of the theater, and you come to a stop, and you're inside a ring. It's like a bull ring, except it's 2 stories tall. It's just arcades all the way around above you, and on your floor it's just pillars that are all open. There are no seats anywhere in this building. And on the far side, there's a fairly small stage. Maybe 5 meters wide, 2 meters deep. You can see a bit of paint on the wall where somebody's, whatever last night's show was, they didn't quite wash it all off.
I don't even care about my surroundings for the first time in my life. And I walk very quickly, almost at a run, and jump up on the stage.
Boom, boom, jump up on the stage. Quickly going to cut away to outside. The 3 of you see Tholo, the staid, quiet Tholo, just gone into this building. As the doors open, the rest of those people that were outside throwing tiny rocks at each other bend down and start grabbing up like a handful of pebbles each. And then they start to move towards the door, reaching into the pouches on their hip. You see each one of them pull out a penny and get ready to give it to somebody inside the door.
I run after Tholo. Like, where are you going? And kind of look back at Edward and Ben and go, like, signal. Let's
Nobody
run in
said a
after
word
Tholo.
to Tholo when you went in, but as you try and push your way in, a voice from the darkness, as your eyes start to adjust, you're, hey, a penny,
Oh yeah.
and you've
Pass
got
him,
a
like,
pouch.
4.
You pull it out, and it's like, yeah, there's you got all kinds of loot. So you throw 4, 1 for each of you.
Yeah.
Okay, big spender, 4 pennies. Ooh, took us all to a matinee. Ooh. Who knows what he wants from us now?
I also flick him. I flick him one and go, and this one's for you.
He takes the 4 and goes to put them in this little wooden box. As you flick him that one, there's just this turn of the hip, and it goes right in his pocket. And he just turns his hip back like nothing happened. And he's just counting the 4 of them into the little box.
That was nice. And then I run after Tholo.
The 2 of you, Edward and Ben, you guys see first Tholo, then Asher, then this sort of crowd of people heading in. And they're all just tossing their pennies into this little window and keeping going with their handful of pebbles.
Nope, just follow them in.
So you follow
I'm standing
them in,
on the stage, center stage, downstage center, staring out at what would be an audience, but I'm assuming is empty right now.
As you first spin, it is empty. And then you see Asher come through the door, turn his head, do that, and then a wave of about 15 or 20. All those people that you saw outside all start pouring through the door towards the open space that's in front of you.
Not knowing what this is about,
Yeah.
I run backstage.
Okay. You run backstage. Absolutely. Asher, you see Tholo run backstage.
I yell after him, what do you think you're, oh God, what do you, and I run after him like, dude.
And you're hearing things behind you from the crowd like, you're not supposed to, oh yeah, friggin' Prince. Oh, look at the Prince run. Oh, like he's never run before. You have somebody that runs for you.
Right before I go backstage, I turn around and give them a royal wave.
Okay.
As the crowd parts, I'm gonna say we'll probably see that Asher is following. He's going, past the stage. So I'm assuming Tholo kind of went past there. So
right over the top.
They're going. Let's keep on going. Yeah, and we're just going 10 to follow.
So you guys just plow through the crowd and head for the stage as well.
For me, I'm not going to the stage. I kind of want to see if there's a different door for, kind of like the cast, because I know there's definitely going to be a class divide. So there's not going to be like double doors are for like the audience.
Exactly. That gets you into you're in the viewing area now. So you start looking for doors around the perimeter that are going to take you. I was saying I didn't really necessarily enter the theater just yet. Oh, okay, so you're still out. Oh, you're going looking for the cast entrance outside.
Yes,
I love it. Perfect. Okay, so you're still outside. I like that very much. Okay, so you spin around to give them the royal wave, and a stone goes, whew, and another one goes, whew, and almost takes off your little hat.
Art thou rude? And then I go backstage.
And you see the whole bunch of them. They're just grabbing these pebbles up and rearing back. As you run into the backstage. The 2 of you start to make your way up to the stage, and just as the one of you, Edward. Well, actually, I should give you a chance to restate what you're doing, because you turn around to talk to Ben, and he's gone. He's out looking for underground entrances to Midas's kingdom again. So
I turn around and look for Ben, and he's not there. Oh, hell. I just turn around and keep on going towards Asher.
As you walk in and see Asher on the stage doing his little performance, Tholo is gone in the back. You see from behind, as you're approaching them, these people, most of them are starting to reach into their pouches. They've got their hand of rocks in their left hand, but they're all reaching into their pouches with their right hand. Their money pouches.
I'll take note of it and kind of, I'll wait a second to see what they're going to do.
To see what they're doing? Yeah. You see them pull out like a handful of pennies and dump most of them into the hand with the rocks, and then take 1 penny and throw it at Asher. Asher up on stage, there's now money flying, but they throw 1 penny and then they start throwing rocks.
Oh.
So there's like pennies all over the floor, but if you were going to hang around and get them, you'd be being pelted with rocks while you do so.
I'm not gonna hang around and get them, but I'm gonna be like, is this like a strip kind of thing? And maybe I'll give them a little show.
A couple of them are kind of, other ones start going, tell us a joke, tell us a joke, tell us a joke, tell us a joke.
Huh.
Too late. And they throw another rock.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I've given them the royal wave and like, I think it's time for me to go. and
as you're diving off the back of the stage, you hear encore, and the area behind you is just being pelted with stones.
Encore?
No more coins.
Well, I know that.
They want you to come back so they can throw more rocks at you.
Oh, okay. All right. Maybe I don't realize that right away, so I go back on to give them a song and dance.
Yeah, you step out again. Ta-da! Rocks
exactly.
everywhere.
Like,
yeah.
Misunderstood. I don't understand this culture. And then go back.
Back behind the screen. Edward, you've now seen what they're doing. What do you do?
Yeah, I'll go and as Asher kind of comes back out again, he kind of goes and gets pelted with rocks and probably falls behind the curtain or whatnot. Yeah. I'll sigh and kind of go off towards the side and kind of find my way backstage as well.
Absolutely. So you do that. As you you work your way around, and you do find a curtain that you can wiggle behind and get into the backstage area. Outside at around that time, Ben, you just walk. It's almost a circular building. It's 8-sided technically. You get all the way around the back from where the front doors are, and lo and behold, there is exactly what you expected. There's a crappy little door that the performers have to go in, and then there's a larger door for stuff, right, for cargo, maybe sets or something. But there is nobody back here. There's no light back here, and you can just see a flickering light under the door.
Do I think they've started yet, or I think it's still nothing's really started inside?
You kind of listen at the door. You can hear a lot of shouting and yelling, and you clearly hear somebody say, "Not one of ours. What do you mean it started?"
Sounds like Asher's found his way to the building.
Who the hell are you? And a couple seconds later, and who the heller are you?
I guess I'm in the right place.
You put your hand on the door and push. It's not locked.
Yeah, so I'm
It's
gonna
just closed.
try to carefully kind of make my way in.
Click. And you push the handle in. That flickering under the door wasn't a candle. Globe Theater is on fire.
Oh!
You guys got here the night the Globe Theater burns down.
Oh, God. Okay.
Oh.
As you open that, that's a small back room. Like, there's set pieces back here and paint and stuff, and that's all starting to burn. You're looking around going, like, there's no fire extinguisher. It's 1603, right?
Okay. In that case...
That's your initial response, and then we're going to cut away from you.
My initial response is to open the bigger door that you said they use for, like, props and things. Because I'm figuring there's either going to be a rush of people or something out this way.
Absolutely. So when you open the small door, the people door, the air rushes in and everything flames up. You reach over and grab this heavier door and pull it up, sort of evening the balance, the airflow. So it is burning. And a lot of the fire is kind of getting sucked out the big door and starting to burn up the side of the building. So at the very least, it's going to draw a lot of attention very soon.
Where did the fire
going for? I'll take it.
Is the fire started in the back?
It's in the back room, not where you guys are, because I'm coming to the three of you right now. Tholo first. You jump off the back of the stage in between the flies and into the back, like the green room. And there's this middle-aged guy standing there, little fringe of hair. His ruff is all like nasty and dirty. It's got bits of food on it and stuff. He's wearing black on black, which is like the lowest. He's more underdressed than you are. His tights are all baggy, especially at the knees, like they've seen better days. The codpiece is comically large. And I mean that literally, like it's clearly part of his act. And he's got this piece of paper in his hand and he's muttering to himself. And he kind of looks up at you and goes, "Oh, I thought I was the opener."
I suppose you are. I'm sorry for intruding. I think I found myself in the wrong place. And I look back, and is Asher close?
Asher, at this point, you see him duck off the stage, and then step back on the stage and go, and then a whole bunch of rocks pelt the wall behind him, and he ducks back off the stage again. But he's still sort of a little bit over there. You've got sort of one more action before he gets here.
We're both out of place. Sorry to interrupt. I'm gonna be on my way. Can I get your name first?
Bill shakes
Bill.
his spear, and he starts to like vibrate his hips, and his codpiece starts doing this.
He shakes his spear. At this point, I come forward and I'm like, ow!
Yeah, you
And
hear
then
that just as you walk up and see him flopping his codpiece in the wind.
His
Yeah.
spear. I want to do that too. Shakes his spear. That's good.
You shake
Bill's
yours, and
my
it's like ding, 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 because it's metallic. So yeah.
Solo, that's funny.
I didn't make the joke. I'll break a leg, lad.
Okay, you. I hope they didn't throw all the money yet. And he kind of looks at Asher. Asher, you look down. There's like pennies and rocks stuck in your really fancy clothes, like because it's all pleated, right? Everything is pleated.
I see he's looking at it. I'm like, oh, sorry, mate. And I start, because I picked up on Tholo's mate. I start picking out the pennies, and I hear, and I like take out a couple more out of my pouch and add them to his pocket and say, break a leg.
I don't even need to go on now.
No, I'll go on. Show them that like gyrating, shaking spear joke. That was funny.
I got a new joke actually. And he puts the money in his pocket and he says, "There's still quite a bit out there on the stage. Can I have that too?"
Oh yeah, it's all yours, buddy. Don't get hit by the rocks though. They hurt. He rubs the spot on his head.
And he looks at you and says, "Amateur." And he dodges out onto the stage, just ping, 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 and he's bouncing around the ground, picking up these coins, getting missed by the rocks. They are throwing more coins because it's a new performer. So this is apparently how it works at the Globe. They throw money at you, and once they've done that, they become entitled and throw rocks at you if they don't like what you're doing. So he steps up, starts picking up the money, and you hear him start to almost chant. There once was a man waving his dick. It was his act. It was his shtick. They said you can't do that here. If you must shake your spear, it has to be on an 8-foot stick. And he wiggles his stuff and grabs the last penny and dives off the stage back towards you guys. See, you gotta go before they get mad. And he runs right past you and into the back of the theater.
I definitely be giving roaring applause. Good job, Bill.
You hear him as he leaves, and he throws open the door to the back storeroom that he's going to leave through. You see behind him, because he turns to he's making an exit, clearly. He's an actor, and he's making an exit. So he doesn't realize that the room behind him that he's just opened the door to is on fire. And Edward, you slam in at this point in time to hear him say, "I usually do political satire, but William hasn't put out a new play in months," and he turns to leave. "Oh, shit!" And the room's full of fire, and he slams the door. Ben, you saw the door on the other side of the room open. Somebody say something, and then the door slams shut. Let's start with Edward, because he hasn't said anything in a while. You're the only one that's got some distance, like that's not right in the middle of this. So you've got a couple steps away from what you just saw. What is your reaction to that?
I think I am going to eloquently rephrase what Ben just said. And oh shit.
Okay, and the other two, Tholo and Asher, what are you doing? As you see the fire in the back of the Globe Theater.
Definitely stop for a second and stare at it.
Oh, just a quick note. This guy looks nothing like the Shakespeare pictures that you've seen, although there are rumors that he may have not looked like that. He may not have been one person. We don't know. So, but this guy does not look like any of the images you've seen of Shakespeare.
My instinct, as soon as he opens the door and I see flames before he does, is to reach for him.
Yeah.
He sees the flames and kind of falls into my hand, and I pull him back away. So similar to the other thing before. And he goes flying. And I look to Ash and I'm like, we need to get out of here now.
I totally agree, and I vote the other door. Is I know there's one the way we came in, and there's rocks, but we can run faster than them. All right, let's go.
Ben, in the burning room in the back, he opened that inside door. This just got significantly worse. There is now a through flow of air in this room. So what are you doing?
Yeah, air coming from outside through, so that fire would have jumped towards the door that they just opened.
Exactly. And it was just rushing through when he slammed it. So if that door gets opened again, that fire is going to blowtorch down that hall that those people are in.
In that case, probably going to
serious but funny.
Leave the building, close the doors that I just opened, and make my way to the other side of the building I'm figuring either people are panicking and running.
Yep.
Or I'm going to, hopefully the door's not last, or I may have to break the door open.
Yep.
Say that the theater's on fire, and then start running very quickly.
Okay.
One of those two things is going to happen.
You start running around the theater. You kind of thinking to yourself, they must know, right? I mean, this place was on fire. You look up, the smoke from this fire is just disappearing into that haze.
Yeah.
It's all but invisible. The smell of the wood smoke of this place burning is actually nicer than the air quality smell in this city. So
I think
it's not getting a lot of response. But as you run around the outside of the building, you realize no one has any idea that this place is on fire.
I think by this point we're running across the stage, and I would wait till
we're out.
Yeah, I'd wait till we're past some of the crowd, at least kind of pushing them, and then scream that there's a fire. That the
you start as the two of you jump up on the stage.
Yeah.
Actually, as Asher jumps up on the stage, you suck. You were up there before, and they're throwing rocks at you as you come up on stage.
Yes,
again.
I was. There once was a man with a cod piece and Joker, just yelling things and running and pushing. And by the time we're about 3/4 of the way through the crowd, that's when I'll start yelling.
You're awful. Oh,
I
go.
know.
Leave. Piss off. This isn't an open mic night. Go home. Don't quit your
Punch
day
that
job.
guy as we're running.
He punched that guy as your wrist. Smack down he goes. The reason I said all this is they're being really, really rude to you. Do you still tell them that the theater that they are in is on fire?
I do. Yeah. You're all assholes, but
lost
the
a bet with myself there.
No.
So you yell fire, and give me. Oh, this is interesting.
Yeah, you might be mean, but the place is on fire.
Give me an intuition roll to see if you can sort of connect with them to get them to believe you.
All right.
Target number is 6 because there's absolutely no inclination that there's fire of any kind.
Target number is 6. So how do we do that? The thing is, Asher bought real dice for himself. Okay. I don't have negatives, so I'm wondering how to do this with real dice. So I'm going to roll intuition with a real dice. I have 4 of them, so I'm going to roll it.
4d6.
5, 3, 5, 3.
5, 3, 5, 3. That's 2 5s and 2 3s, none of which are 6s. So you yell, fire, fire, fire. And they're like, that's not funny either. And they start throwing rocks at you.
Gotcha.
Even though you're leaving, they're still throwing rocks at you as you head out the public gate. Tholo, are you going with, or you have another plan?
No, I'm going with.
Excellent. Edward? You're they've now run past you again, past the crowd again. You're now on the wrong side of the crowd again. What are you doing? There's huge fire behind that door, and you haven't seen Ben in ages.
I will go and seeing how this hasn't elicited any reaction, I will go and jump up on the stage. And I was like, no, there's really a fire. And I'll take my rapier and I'll kind of swing it behind me to where the curtain is to try to cut the curtain.
Cut the curtain. Oh, I love it. You slash at the curtain and a chunk of it falls away. People at first are looking, going, I don't understand. Why did you wreck stuff? And then one guy goes, is that smoke? And over at that door, there's quite a thick smoke coming out from underneath that door.
And I'll go and kind of run forward and kick the door open.
Okay.
Ooh.
So you punt open that door and the fire just bursts through at you. Give me a grace check to see if you can get out of the way.
What am I rolling again?
Difficulty 5. You do. You just at the last second, you just grab the door and sort of slam it almost in front of you, again, you get behind the door and the blast goes down the hall. And then you hear as it sort of it tapers off. It's still coming through, but now it's coming through and up to the roof and starting to burn. That blowtorch only lasted a couple seconds, and you hear from the general public area, "Oh shit, that's fire!" And they start to turn and head out. You are now backstage in the Burning Globe Theater.
Seeing that taken care of, I am probably against my better judgment of getting out of here. You know, I'm a doctor. I want to save people when I can. So I'm going to kind of run through the backstage to see if there's anybody back there.
Absolutely. Give me a reason check.
What am I rolling against?
That's a difficult question. 4s for reasons that don't make any sense until after I explain this, why it's that easy. Yeah, not a problem. 3 successes. You pop through this, or you get low. I mean, you know enough. They might not know, but you know. Get low, stay under the smoke, stay where there's still some relatively cool air. You get down and start cruising around. You don't find any people back here. Luckily, there was no one back here when it happened. What you do find is a document that is basically the pay stubs, the bookings or the books for this theater, for the Globe Theater.
Not he's here for people. It's not important to him. He's
So
gonna
you keep
on
sweeping,
looking.
you keep sweeping, you find no one, and you are able to make your way out if you choose. Are you going out the back, continuing into the fire, or are you gonna like find a place and go, there's nobody here, and go back the way you came?
He will continue forward just on the off chance that someone had smoke inhalation, that they kind of succumb to it. So he's looking just in case there's that one person there.
Absolutely. So you push your way towards the back of the building, looking for that person. You come to this wall with 2 doors in it. There's a big door and a little door, and you can see from the soot on the floor that they've both recently been opened and closed.
He will go through it.
You just push your way through the door out into the alley. You look up, and this whole side of the globe is burned. Like these doors are open, but again, someone has closed them again. As you open it, the fire comes boiling out and up the side of the building again.
Taking a quick look, is there anybody around?
From where you are right now, timing wise, no. I'm going to have Ben be around front by now. So,
all right.
just in this alley, yeah.
But
Nobody
you've
was
seen, like,
in there.
pretty heavy tracks in the ground, like something was definitely through here running quickly for some reason.
Yeah, absolutely. You can tell. Actually, there'll be footprints because you ran, and this is so sooty. So yeah, there are heavy footprints in the soot that you can see heading away around towards. Looks like they're going back around the front of the theater. So you follow those.
Yep. Like if no one's there, I'll just continue to get out towards safety.
Ben, you come rolling around the front of the theater to see these 2 coming out, and then behind them, this boiling mass of people starting to come out. It's only late afternoon. This was a matinee show, but it's dark because of the soot and the smoke. So because of that, you kind of push your way through this little mini crowd, and the 3 of you are together again. And a few moments later, Edward comes around the corner and joins as well. So now all 4 of you are standing in front of the now clearly burning Globe Theater.
So that's
I kind of come up to the group and I'm like coughing a bit and probably streaked with soot.
Yep.
You
No,
good,
Edward. Yeah.
Yeah. You guys got all... Is there anybody stuck in there? Like nobody got trampled or anything on the way out, right?
Well,
As far
the
as you
3 of
guys
us are
know.
fine. Are you all right?
I'll be good. I just need something to drink real quick.
The glasses say you can't drink the water here, so tavern, beer. That's all we got. Is that what you need as soon as possible, or should we do a little check for? Hey, Bill.
I'll look around. Is there anybody kind of watching this as a spectacle, as drinking anything?
Well,
Absolutely,
Phil's
yeah.
still
The
alive.
whole neighborhood is now that it's clearly on fire. Then the whole neighborhood is watching, and pretty much there's at least 2/3 of them have got a cup in their hand.
We also still have Bill with us, right? Because Solo was holding on to Bill.
I think.
Did you hold on to him, or did you let him go?
Oh no, I let him go.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No worries.
I'm going to go up to the closest person, who has a drink, and just kind of look at them and just take the drink out of their hand and drink it and just kind of grimace at the taste.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's very
When
strong.
we were given coin, were we also given any sort of first aid or water something?
You've got a canteen of water that you could drink because you brought that with you, but...
So as
Or for
he's
medical
looking
purposes.
off to find something, I'm looking over my outfit and I find
Yeah.
water just as he's drinking something awful. And I slowly put it back away.
So Asher, you look like you got a little beaten up in there.
Yeah, they wanted a joke, Ben. I think of myself as a funny man, but not on the spot. I mean, I guess I'm funny on the spot. Ben, I don't know knock jokes. Anyways, we're all okay, and that's what matters, right? Did you find anything? Where'd you go?
Went around back and I noticed it was on fire.
Good.
Tried to open doors to kind of let people out, but realized it made things a little bit worse than I was expecting it to.
Well, I'm glad you tried. Good investigation tactics. I like it. Did anyone find Shakespeare?
No,
I mean, you sound like you found somebody.
I didn't see anybody.
We found a guy named Bill. Tholo, I don't think Bill is Shakespeare.
I don't think so. It's a bit of a joke name.
He did tell you that he
mention,
normally did political satire. So.
Yeah. And he did say that William hasn't written anything in quite a few months. So I'm getting the sense it wasn't him, and also that maybe Shakespeare isn't here tonight if he hasn't been writing for quite a while.
Perhaps we should go check out that apartment you were mentioning.
Yeah, we do know he lived in the area. The glasses say it should be just over there. Yeah,
and it is. Yeah, it's a short distance away. Absolutely.
Is it
That's a
within
good idea.
burning distance?
Eventually, all of London is in burning distance. Speaking of which, there's literally a bucket brigade forming. That is all that was possible at this time. And historically, it burns to the ground, and a little bit of it around it does, but nothing else. So.
Well, none of us are firefighters. I say we get out of here.
The Great Fire of London happens very shortly and puts this all to shame. But never mind. The locals wouldn't know that. You guys would, but the locals wouldn't. So, with that, the four of you make your way towards what apparently is Will Shakespeare's apartment. This is a crappy part of town. You guys may know
Unintended.
literally. In this time and place, theaters were not. It was not a high-end thing. It was looked down upon very much. The Globe was in a horrible part of the city, and this place that you're going is just worse and worse. It borders on Skid Row. It is where the poorest of the poor that still have a roof live. And
I'm definitely looking down at my nice clothes going, I don't really fit in here, friends, but
yeah, you definitely don't want to be here. You don't want to be here after dark dressed like you are. That is for sure. There's already people looking at you with very invested in your future well-being. Like you're being watched for your finery.
Yeah. Let's walk a little faster, eh?
As you get close to the building, this building doesn't even have doors, or the shutters are gone out of the windows. This is the kind of place that you wouldn't even expect charges rent. That there's not enough here to have to pay to stay. But you see a couple people hanging around outside at the front.
Actually, if you're uncomfortable, you could always shed a couple layers, maybe put it in a sack or something.
It's not a bad idea. Do we have sacks on us?
Sure.
I know we have a canteen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a pack.
Right.
You got a pack of some sort. Absolutely.
All right. I take
I'm
off
very
my
flexible
blue
that
coat.
way. So you
take off the
your
blue coat and stick it in the bag for now. Yeah.
You
I'll
do.
use it.
As you do so, this would be the equivalent of, just to be clear, this would be like a businessman standing up in the middle of a meeting and taking off not only his coat jacket, but his shirt and tie, and just standing there in his undershirt.
Yeah, maybe
a very nice Brooks Brothers undershirt that probably costs $50.
Asher is very comfortable with his body. So
Yeah. I was just making the point that you are
Yeah.
not less noticeable. That was my point.
Okay,
So,
but maybe less noticeable to get mugged.
maybe.
So,
They might have something else in mind, seeing as how you've got half your clothes off in their minds. But
right.
you do so, and you make your way into the up to the building. There's, like I said, there's 3 or 4 of these sort of borderline homeless people standing around outside. They're dirty and beat down and filthy looking. They just look up at you as they don't even care as you walk up. What do you do?
I go with it. I reach down into my sack.
Yeah.
And I am searching for any sort of rations that I may have brought with me.
Absolutely.
I'm
Dried
giving them
fruit, and
some
it's
food.
basically like trail mix. Yeah.
Yes.
Era appropriate trail mix, whatever was available then. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you pull it and hand, and they're just and they're so they sniff it. Is it poison right before they start? But then once they start eating it, you can they're on the brink of starving.
And I kneel to them.
Thank you,
And,
thank you.
Of course, yes.
Like they're afraid you might take
actually-
it back.
No. I just we're looking for William Shakespeare.
Upstairs, he's in the. And the other one kind of grins, and you see like there's only 2 teeth left. He's in the penthouse. This is like a
Thank you.
2-story building, and you look up and you can see like a flapping piece of cloth up on the roof. Like
Thank
somebody's
you very
basically
much.
built a tent up there. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Give them
What's
some
your
coin
name?
as well.
What's your name?
Tholo.
You're a saint, you are.
I no. I don't like that word, but take it. Be well.
They're spreading out the coin amongst themselves and spreading the food. And as you sort of step past them into the building, you hear it again, Saint Tholo. Behind you. They're already talking about you as a saint.
Sir. Hopefully Church of England doesn't stamp on that one too hard.
Yeah, you would qualify. Actually, you did 2 miracles. You made food appear from nowhere, and you made money appear from nowhere. Those 2 miracles. You're in.
Actually, since we can go back a little, I might say I may have even given them my full name.
Okay, which is
Ooh.
It's Bartholomew.
and thus Saint Bartholomew earns a whole new chapter to their history.
Yeah, like there's
Thus
already a
confusing,
Saint
just confusing the Christian timeline even more. Thank you, Saint Bartholomew 2.0. I love it.
Well, lots of saints have been seen in visions way after their death, so maybe they didn't have to clear a
Absolutely.
vision.
And in this one, you had a purple codpiece. Who knew? You guys head up the stairs. I just had a look at the time, so I don't want to rush you, but I'm going to rush you a little bit. You get up the stairs to the penthouse, and as you expected, you climb up onto the roof, and it's literally a tent on the roof. And there's this scruffy-looking man standing there, but this one you recognize. He's got that shiny bald pate. He's got the ruff, although as you come up on there, he's kind of buckling it on, and he's having trouble doing the hookup, and then he finally pulls it all the way around and tries to do it up under his chin, and he can't see it then either. He's clearly not used to getting dressed up like this. His stuff looks like it's probably somebody else's. None of it quite fits. And there's just rolls and rolls of papyrus, or not papyrus, of paper sitting around him. His fingers are all ink stained. He has not noticed.
Asher would come right up and go, "Hey, I didn't want to scare you, but kind of
Dead.
can I help you with your ruff? I can help you with your
I
ruff.
beg your pardon? You're not one of
looks
those
like
comedians, are you?
No, not at all. Not at all. I'm just I'm a fan.
That's the review I heard too. Hey. No, he wasn't there.
I'm an awful comedian. And Asher just starts like fixing his rough arm.
Oh, well,
Like,
thank you. And it's like that kid thing when you're trying to do up their shirt, and they're kind of He's kind of doing that while you're doing that. Thank you. Who the? Do I owe you money? And he starts trying to back away towards the edge of the roof.
Not at all. Be careful, William. William, you're gonna fall off the edge of the roof.
He didn't even tell you his name.
I know his name.
How do you know
William?
my name?
Because I'm a fan of the great Shakespeare. I've seen all your plays, and I was told. Actually, my friend Tholo here was told that this is where you live. Please don't fall off the roof.
You've seen all my plays.
Yeah, the globe.
But
Nobody watches my plays.
I'm your greatest fan. I think you're wonderful. I don't always understand everything you're saying, though. That's a lot of words.
Which ones did you like best?
Recently I saw the one you most recently
right on the
came out with.
spot.
Yeah, I'm definitely scanning through my glasses to be like, Great Fire of the Globe Theater. What came out before that? I'm like,
Twelfth Night.
You want the whole list? I got the whole
got them
list
up.
here.
Yeah,
It starts in
There.
1578. And oh, wait a minute. Pardon me. The 1591 is when the first one was written, and it's now 1611. Yes.
All right. So I rattle off a bunch, every single one.
Okay.
Seen them all.
But what I want to know, because you've got access to them, there's the histories, which is all the kings, like King Lear, King John, King Richard, all of those. And then there's all the sort of comedies and dramas. So Much Ado About Nothing, As You Like It, Twelfth Night, all of those. Do you express a preference?
No, I list them all. I want him to know I'm
List
his
them
biggest
all.
fan.
Okay.
I might be trying to flirt a little bit and trying to see the theory of him being gay, if it's right or not. So,
Okay,
fixing
absolutely.
As
yeah.
Asher is listing them, before he says this one, I have a little aha moment. And I'm like, Romeo and Juliet. He wrote Romeo and Juliet.
With a quill and a pen over here, he starts writing stuff down. But he looks at you and says, well, they can't all be your favorite.
Well, they're not all my favorite. I just love them all. And I had to meet the writer who wrote them. I think you're quite wonderful. And Asher all of a sudden is very aware he's like half naked.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And the look you get is, well, your question is answered in the negative. Let's put it that way. He is not looking at you in a wanting way. However, he does say to you, you like the ones about the kings? I mean, he's really leading you on now. Like he's milking you for a compliment. He is clearly trying to lead you in a direction.
I especially loved King Lear.
Did you? That was one of my absolute favorites. You want to know a secret about that one?
Yes.
And he comes up to you, just you. The others are sort of standing a half a step away. You can hear because he stage whispers, because he also is an actor. I rewrote that one.
You did? What did you change?
Wasn't me. I didn't write it the first time.
All right.
I put all the fancy words in it that you don't like.
I like them. I just don't understand them. I love a play I can't understand.
What's hard about Forsooth and Verily? It's not difficult. I don't understand.
It's all the wear your heart on the sleeve and heart of gold and good riddance and send them packing and all those things.
Oh, I
love
wrote
them.
that stuff.
I think it'll live forever. I really
I
do.
just didn't write the kingy stuff first. I wrote it after.
Was that the same with all the other ones? What about Hamlet? Did you write Hamlet?
I No. It's a kingy one. He's a prince.
Okay. So all the kingy ones you rewrote.
Yeah.
Okay. What about the funny ones? Did you write those ones?
Those are mine. Much Ado About Nothing. Did you get all the jokes? People said that Twelfth Night wasn't funny. I think it's hysterical. I don't understand. Anyway.
I don't know. I found it funny.
No, I wrote that one. I wrote all the funny ones. I'm just working on one now. It's about a storm in an ocean on an island with a sorcerer.
Ooh. I think it's going to be a hit. There's a sorcerer? Sounds good.
There is. Your friends look bored.
They do kind of, yeah. I'm wondering why they're not joining in the conversation. Maybe they're giving us a moment.
And Will Shakespeare turns to look at the three of you.
Edward will actually take the canteen that he realizes that we have and is taking the water and splashing it over himself as he's, caked in soot and, probably bloodshot eyes.
Oh, yeah. It's just,
sorry about that. A little quiet, but just saw
timely reference. You look a bit like Rudy Giuliani right now with the running down the cheeks. Sorry.
Still kind of coughing a bit. Really sad to say, but the Globe Theater is kind of burning down.
That's not the way to break the news nicely, Edward.
You gotta break it. Sometimes
and he leans into Asher and says, "It's okay. I know. I set the fire."
What? Why'd you set the fire?
Insurance claims. I just bought that place and it's a shithole.
That's really smart, but awful.
I'm going to build a much nicer theater in the same spot. That's where I'm going to premiere The Tempest when it's done.
Do you not have a conscience? What if somebody died?
I know a lot of words and conscious isn't one of them. Did anybody die? I didn't even think of that.
Possibly. There was a lad dressed just like you.
The comedian?
Yeah.
I hope he fucking dies. He's been making fun of me for 20 years. Do you know his codpiece honks when you squeeze it?
I didn't try.
I should try. Can we go back?
He chased me around a staff party for 3 hours with that thing one night. Honk, 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 honk. Trying to be dignified. The king was there, for goodness sakes.
What about the children? What about the audience members? The people that enjoy your plays?
He squeezes his junk in front of everybody.
You could have hurt any of them.
Oh, you meant the fire. Oh.
Yes.
I wasn't thinking. I just...
Clearly.
His actor's usually so short, I thought they'd be gone. Yes, sorry, what?
A doctor hearing his blatant disregard to human life.
Yeah.
I am going to walk up to William Shakespeare and I'm going to punch William Shakespeare in the face.
Absolutely. Give me a roll versus target number because he is completely not expecting this, and I want the target number to be 3 because I want to know. I don't want to know if this succeeds. I want to know how much this succeeds.
Asher's looking between Edward and Shakespeare like, holy God, he just said Shakespeare.
You just
power?
Step up and power for a straight punch in the face. Oh yeah, it's only one die, but it's perfect. You just right on that shitty little goatee, and it just you see the head turn. You watch the eyes. One goes up, one goes down. He just spirals to the ground unconscious on the roof of this building.
Well, Edward, I'm feeling like you don't want to stick around. Is there anything else you think our boss needs to know before we go?
I need to go and look at Shakespeare. Looking at him, he's not any dictorate posturing or decerebrate posturing or anything like that. He's just knocked out.
He's just knocked out. He'll be fine. He's fallen in the 3/4 prone position, basically. So he's in what I remember from first aid. He's in a good position.
Yeah, I'll kind of turn him on his left side, put his arm out, put him in the recovery position.
Yeah.
And then just all right, I can't be around this guy. I gotta go.
You turn and walk away, Ben. You've had time,
especially after his final comment and seeing him kind of knocked out. I'm going to kind of take a moment and kind of look through the manuscripts and kind of see if there's anything that doesn't survive time.
I'm looking for love letters. So I see Ben going
So
through them.
you're
I'm
looking for
look,
love letters.
I'm
you
going through stuff too.
Absolutely. You find love letters. I'm going to get back to those in a second. Ben, you start looking through these manuscripts, looking for like lost plays and stuff, I'm assuming, things like that.
Something that wouldn't be missed that if it were to disappear from time for a while.
You don't find that, but what you find is two very distinct handwriting styles.
Ooh.
And you start like that manuscript is that style and that manuscript is that style, and you start piling them up. All the royal ones are done in one hand. All the comedies and the other ones are done in another hand. The ink is different too. The ink of the comedies is the same as the ink in the jars that's around you. It's a cheap, shitty black ink. The ink of the royal plays is a dark purple. It's a royal ink. You flip through the manuscripts, and they're not signed because you wouldn't. But it says at the bottom of the last page of one of them, James, and then there's Roman numerals VI, and then there's a slash and a Roman numeral 1. You have a pair of glasses with the answer in them if you need to ask.
6th and 7th. 6th or 7th.
But would he?
Would you say
Portfolio.
anything, or would you wait till you got back and research it yourself? That's the question. But you were sent here to find out who Shakespeare really is, and you've got manuscripts in two hands in front of you.
Yeah, James the 6th and 7th, I think, is how it would. Is that how that would be kind of read?
What's that?
So it's an unsigned, but the bottom one has James.
James the 6th slash first.
Slash first.
Oh,
Okay.
6 past
There is
first.
only one in all of history, and it is exactly this time period. He was James the 6th of Scotland and later became James the 1st of England.
Oh.
He was a Jacobean king, a royal, for whom, as you continue to dig through the paperwork, you find pay stubs written to Shakespeare by the king. Some of these are legitimate. Some of these history, as you check in the glasses, confirms Shakespeare was an official author sponsored by this king. He had a royal decree making him an official not poet, but tale teller. And there's other stubs that just say for services rendered. And as you check the dates in your glasses, each one of those pay stubs lines up with the publication date of one of the royal plays. So it appears, from what you just found on the roof, that all the royal plays were written by His Royal Highness James the 6th / James the 1st, both before and during his reigns. And all the comedies and tragedies were written by William Shakespeare, the writer. But because the king could not possibly take credit for it, he handed them all off to Shakespeare, who rewrote them, as he told you, rewrote them a little bit here and there, puffed them up, and sent them out. So having found that out, and Will Shakespeare unconscious on the roof beside you, copies of every single one of his manuscripts in front of you, you now understand at least part of the reason why nobody's ever been able to nail down his signature and his style, because it was at least 3 people. The Dick Joke stand-up comedian, the William Shakespeare the author, and the king with a creative outlet.
Oh, I gotcha.
So knowing that, Benjamin, first of all, do you share that? As you put that together, do you share that with the other 3?
Yeah, I'd share that with the others.
Okay. So the four of
Wait,
you are now
you
standing
said-
on the roof.
The original king of Scotland.
No, one of the kings.
Before he
I-
became the king of England.
He
Yep.
became the king of Scotland at 13 months old. As you're checking, I'll just run some history by you guys so you can see that this actually works. And he was that was in 1567 when he was born. So 1568 he becomes the king of Scotland at 13 months old. He was, of course, there was regents that ran it for him until he became of age, which was 1578. He finally took control. It took him 5 years to win control once he was officially the king until he became the actual king of Scotland. And that took till 1583, and it wasn't until 20 years later that he succeeded Elizabeth I, thus ending the Tudor age because she was the last of the Tudors and died childless, and starting the Jacobean era.
I just
I would
remembered
take
that
pictures with my glasses. Continue.
Yeah.
there is I'm still learning a lot about this history myself. And I remember there was one play you're not supposed to say the name of, and it's called the Scottish play. Do I see any remnants of that being written in the original writing, the royal writing?
You scan through it. You find it. It is one of the royal writings. This is a play which came to be known historically as being particularly Jacobean. It was the way a royal would react in that world at that time, and as such was seen as a real reflection of the day. And it's there, and it is written in the king's hand. And the glasses. Okay, go ahead.
I looked at Asha. I said, I know I'm not supposed to take anything, but I really, really, really want this.
I'm taking a pen. Why don't I take a picture for you? But I don't know. I think if that goes missing, we're not going to see it in history. But I'm taking the pen. You want to take the inkwell?
No, I don't want to take the inkwell, Asha. But yes, please take some pictures.
I'm also looking for some love letters. I'm sure you can pocket one of those. Pretty sure those didn't get published in history, but that play you're looking at, it's a very famous play. We don't want that missing from history there, Tholo.
Fair.
Just for fun, you were looking for love letters.
Yeah, I am. I want to know if he's not Asher sexual, or if he's just not. If these rumors aren't true at all, I want to know who he's in love with.
You don't find love letters, but you find this tightly rolled cluster of documents. It's a letter wrapped in a letter, wrapped in a letter, wrapped in a letter, wrapped in a silk cloth. And you pull them out and start unfolding them. This is a conversation between James the Sixth, or in this case James the First, because this was while he was in England, and somebody named Guillaume Fawkes. And there's talk of dynamite and explosions. Not dynamite, gunpowder and explosions. And the
V for
end of a
Vendetta.
political era. You tap your glasses. 1605 is when it should have happened. But you tap your glasses again, and then this isn't that world. This is not an identical world compared to the one that you came from. But you
So
find...
No Fox Day yet?
Not yet, but what
Yeah.
you find there is proof that James the First was in on the gunpowder plot.
Definitely take pictures.
Which means, for those who don't know the story historically, that means that he turned on Guy Fawkes and had him arrested at the last second before they blew up Parliament. So this implies some horrible shit on the part of that king, and there's no historical basis for it. I just made it all up.
And how would Shakespeare get those letters? Because they're not between him.
No,
Unless he's Guy
you
Fawkes.
actually, seeing as how you asked the questions, I actually have the answer. You look over at the documents that are spread around before you, and you can see on some of the pages, there's kind of outlines of smaller pages, and you realize they must have been slid into the scripts that were written by the king. Like he'd kept them in there as a secret, forgot they were there, and gave them to Shakespeare to rewrite. And he'd found them and kept them.
Well, we can't keep these love letters, Tholo. And we can take some pictures, though.
I don't want love letters.
You want the famous story? What if you just took one page? He could rewrite one page, right? Like, well, what about? He's not going to forget his ending or his beginning. Why don't you
There's
take the
multiple
last
copies
page?
of most of these extant in our world. So
No, it's more of an emotional connection. So I'm all right with the pictures.
Are you sure? Because now that I think of it, I mean, I'm pretty sure the glasses say there are multiple different copies and slightly differences. Maybe it was you. Maybe you took a page, so he rewrote
All right,
the
Asher, I
ending.
know you're kind of having a good time and all, but I don't know how long we have this guy on the floor. So I think we may
All right,
want
good point.
to make our way.
I grabbed the first page. I'm like, Tholo, I'm taking it for you.
So you have the cover page for the play that shall not be named.
Yes,
Written
I do.
in the king's hand. Written
Yes,
in the
I do.
king's-
And
you have in
and
your
Shakespeare's
possession. Let me make this perfectly clear. Well, the pen could be anybody. That's just a quill. Maybe they do some DNA testing and prove it's his. But you have in your hand the proof that a king of England was pretending to be a playwright.
yep, I'm
Okay,
taking
and
it.
you just shove that in your pocket because your friend wants
Yep.
it. Just to be clear.
Yep. Yep.
Just to be perfectly clear.
Yeah. Yes, I do.
Tholo, you've made it clear you're not taking anything like that. Are you taking anything from this world? I mean, there's his tent, there's his bed sheets. It's all Shakespeare's stuff here.
No, I think I'm very moved that Asher took the page, and that's all I need.
Benjamin.
Not really seeing anything that's kind of like that, and also kind of figuring out more who he was as a person. Benjamin's probably just gonna kind of leave and follow Edward, even if he's a little bit later.
As you're looking around, just to give you an option, as you're looking around, you find what is essentially a shopping list written in Shakespeare's hand. And it's like, eggeth, milketh. No, I just couldn't resist. But it is
much as it's
literally
funny.
the most mundane thing in the world. It is Shakespeare's shopping list. See, fun.
Probably
Serious.
not.
This is.
No.
You put it
Kind of
back
the
down.
idea was it would be something that's kind of annoying, but he knew wouldn't change anything.
Yeah.
Like losing a shopping list is nothing. So it's kind of more kind of to try to jab a little bit at Shakespeare when he wakes up.
Oh, okay. I see what you. Oh, okay. Well, you could burn all his plays. I mean, you.
No more burning, please.
So you have a look around and decide to leave things as they are. Edward, your knuckles are kind of sore. You might have been slightly hypocritic with that Hippocratic, but some things have to be done. What do you do at this? This is clearly things are starting to. This is starting to wrap up. What do you do?
Edward, after he kind of put William Shakespeare in the recovery position, make sure he doesn't have any actual brain damage or anything.
Yeah.
He is going to he went and just walked down the stairs. He's kind of running his hand through his hair, getting the moisture out as well as the soot.
Yeah.
A noise off to the side kind of catches his interest, and he happens to see a cat meowing down the hallway. He kind of goes, pulls out some food, and kind of tosses it on the ground. Makes his way out outside. Are the folks still outside?
Yeah. They're now. You can see as you come out, one of them has turned the little bag inside out, and they're basically chewing on the leather inside the bag, trying to get the last little bit of flavor out of it.
Edward will kind of go take whatever food that he has on him, give it to them. You're gonna want to eat that slowly, because if you eat it too quickly, it'll mess up your stomach, and you could actually die from it. So.
I imagine them. I imagine them standing there, just staring down at a frosted cupcake. I just no idea how to process the information.
Can I ask as Saber, because I know this is
Yes.
going to be my last time in this world for I don't even know
Yep.
how long. And as a drama teacher and an English teacher, I have to
Yes.
know, because Tholo has no idea. If we were to look around this space, would there be any remnants of Kit Marlowe?
I'm going to say yes and then admit I'm not quite sure what that means. So you tell me what you find.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not as big of a history buff. I just know that part of the backstory of their rivalry as playwrights, Christopher Marlowe and William Shakespeare, and then there was something
Right.
that has to do with their death that's ambiguous between the two of them, rumors of potential relationship stuff, like just very interesting history between those two playwrights. So I was
Okay.
curious if we missed something.
What I will give you then, because thank you for enlightening me, you find the exact opposite of what Asher was looking for. You find a hate mail campaign, like old school trolling when you had to mail the shit back and forth to each other, but you keep writing on the same piece of paper. Yeah, it's a troll war between the two of them. You don't know how to write. You can't spell. Your poetry sounds like it's childish. It is the least classy, the least stylish, the least linguistically pleasing writing you have ever seen in your life, coming from two of the greatest writers of all time.
Oh my gosh,
So there you
chat
go.
just said ye old troll war.
The old troll war. And you have
Thank you,
it.
Jack Miyoshi. Thank you.
In those two handwritings, you have ye old troll war that you find.
I imagine
you
Tholo
know
reading that and
you
being
can
like,
have Asher check the glasses all he wants. No one has ever found this.
So funny. I can just imagine Tholo reading that. I have no idea why that matters, and just being like, nasty.
I'll keep that. That seems. Yeah.
Meanwhile, Saber's like.
Tholo's like, there's a voice in my head that is really excited, and I don't know why. So, anything else anybody wants to do to or with William Shakespeare before we leave?
Sure.
A little kiss on the head. No, we're mad at him. He's a bad boy. No, I think I'm gonna follow and see if I can find Edward and give the rest of my food and money to the guys on the street there.
Absolutely.
As they're licking their cupcake.
Ben?
And a little to the cat as well.
Yeah,
Yes,
a little.
the cat is just. Yeah, you guys get down the first flight of stairs, and there's a cupcake with absolutely no icing on it, and a cat with a blue nose, just trying to get at that last little bit. Yeah, you continue down outside, and there's half a dozen. I don't know where they came from, but half a dozen of the really fancy cupcakes, and all these like dirty, filthy urchins just eyes rolled back in their head from the sheer joy of all that sugar. 404 error, ye old troll war not found. And as the four of you come down off the roof and feed the homeless in a time of mass homelessness, you head back to Whitechapel Lane, which at this point is just a nice little lane. But it's kind of creepy walking down it knowing what's going to happen here in 300 years. And you finally bump into the door. You open it. And as you pull it open, it turns into that shitty ply door again that weighs nothing. And it's got the crappy fake brass and silver handle that's flaking. You step in and you close it behind you in this little room. Open the other door. Interrupt me at any time. Yep.
Yeah, we walked from kind of England into the room. Did it smell again like the seaside, or did it smell like something else this time?
It does. It actually smells like the ocean. And as this door is open, you hear. And as you close the door to ancient England, the sound is cut off.
Okay.
Open the other door. Step into the change rooms.
Whew. well, that was a trip, wasn't it? Edward, you punched him good.
Yeah, I need a shower.
Yeah.
I think we actually all need a shower.
Yeah, we
And
stinky.
maybe a rabies vaccine.
He was a bit of a disappointment, wasn't he, with the whole lighting the globe on fire? I could tell that really upset you.
Yeah. Half his work was stolen. Some would argue the good half. Yeah, I did not paint a nice picture. But you guys have your shower and get back into your own clothes. Asher, you now know enough to know that the shirt you're wearing is not a Jacobean at all. It's actually Elizabethan, and you would have looked like that person that's wearing fashion from last year. If you'd worn you would have looked like that guy. So it was that close.
Dang. I still like my blue coat.
You have your showers and you come out and get into your gear and go back into the fancy office. And the non-existent bust is on the non-existent box, sitting on the little gold wire. Your report, please.
William Shakespeare has a really weak chin.
Noted. Who was William Shakespeare?
Or a guy who lived on a tent. Yeah. Oh.
An arsonist.
An arsonist, yeah. He lit the Globe Theater on purpose, yeah. Insurance fraud.
Do any of you mention the Jameses? Or the James?
I probably would.
Yeah, why not?
Do any of you mention Will Shakes his spear?
Probably not. No,
Okay.
it felt insignificant. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. The only thing he was the guy that mocked him, right? He made a living out of mocking Shakespeare. So so you guys share this information with the narrator. It all comes out.
I do also share that my comrades seemed a bit off-put by the differences in the time, the mechanics and things.
Yes, we did notice there were some inconsistencies in the readings we were getting before we sent you. The Everett Wheeler multi-worlds theory suggests that we may have sent you to, well, not the wrong world, a world which is parallel to this one, but not identical.
Did we create that parallel world by changes in our last missions?
That remains unclear at this time.
Will we have to do this mission again in the other parallel, the R version?
I have no way of knowing. Your payment, as always, is in the unmarked cards on the desk. What did we get last time? Was it 25,000 last time? 40,000 last time? This one is 60.
Yeah. Ooh, so I'm at 100 out of 125.
So you are getting very close, yes.
Yeah.
As you pick them up, you hear the by now standard phrase start. Once you've had time to spend that, do come back. And what do you know about Pope Joan?
Ooh, I know all sorts of things.
And that is where we will drop the curtain on tonight's little tale.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that one.
You do know the Pope Joan tale. Good. Somebody does.
Yeah.
This way you can provide your own glasses information as we go along.
I gotta do it, yeah.
Yes, next week we are off to see a supposedly mythical female pope. And I've got a story to tell there too. For those that are watching, thank you so much for hanging around. A lot of you hung around from when the raid came over. Thank you so much. To those of you watching and to my players, I promise a fight next week. I really do. Ooh. There will be a battle for the first time next week. So, we've got 3 episodes so far and had 1 punch thrown and 1 arrow fired. So
Asher will hide.
Yeah, from our people. So with that, thank you, Jack. Appreciate that very, very much. Thank you to all the chat. But let me do this in the right order so I remember. I got to do my thank yous. There are 6 of them. Thank you so much to Villa Villas for coming and playing Edward for us. The little sneak into his backstory is just that little bit of extra spice. Why is he doing this? Because he's bored. He's got this perfect life and he's bored. So I love it. It explains so much. It explains his calmness, his rationalness. He's a medical professional. I love it. Oh, thank you so much for coming to play with us. Nick, Ben is he is so bullheaded. I love Ben. Thank you so much for bringing him with us, bringing you with you and coming to play him with us. Thank you so much, Nick. Saber, Tholo is Tholo, and there's this honor. This heart of honor at the center of Tholo that's just looking for a place to be an undiluted hero with no questions and no gray areas. And I will find one somewhere in my gray world. We will find you a place to stand. I promise.
Exciting. That's why he's not a ninja.
I want to give him a hill to make his samurai stand on. That's what I want to give Tholo.
Neat.
And Tails, Asher is so much fun. He didn't get any this week, so sorry.
No, he didn't.
We'll see what happens next week. You know, you can't have perfect numbers. It's just not believable.
Yeah,
This guy for trying though. He tried pretty hard.
Yeah,
I had to try
hard.
for Shakespeare. You hear
you had
the
to
rumor.
make a play.
And then he flirted with Tholo at the end there, getting him a little gift.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So that leaves me 2 thank yous. One for all the people that just watched us on Twitch, and the comments are full of jokes from all night, and ye old troll war is something that's going to stick with me for quite a while. Thank you so much to all of our viewers, new and old. We were in double digits almost all night, which is really cool. And thank you also to the future people, the people watching our time traveling show in the future on YouTube. Thank you to you as well. And by the way, the easiest way to get a hold of us, 2 different ways. The easiest way to get a hold of us really is the Discord. So let me put that in there. That one gets you to our Discord, which is so supportive and wonderful, and you can contact all of us there. And if you want to get caught up on what has gone before, this is only the 3rd episode of this, but there is a ton of other stuff there over at the YouTube channel Dirty 20 Gaming. There's this series, the Iron Sworn, the Fun Shot Fridays, the Corsairs of the Cosmos, a bunch of videos I did before that. It is all there to be enjoyed, pondered, thought about, ignored, whatever you like to do to it. There it is.
And thank you for all that you do, Kevin.
Oh, you're very welcome. You snuck that in, you bugger.
Yes.
I was hoping to get to the end without that. I have a hard time with compliments. Even though I spend a lot of time telling other people don't have a hard time with compliments, it comes from a real true place because I have a hard time with them myself. So thank you all so much for joining us tonight. And as always, until next time, be nice to each other. Good night.
Bye, everybody.